So welcome everyone. Welcome
Oops.
everyone to this special series of webinars. Really thought for you who are doing your internship, especially in the tech world. So we have curated a series of webinars that intend to give you more tools, more skills, so you are really prepared to start your job search, or if you already have a job, to really polish all the skills you have and be more prepared. So we will be having 4 webinars. This first webinar is on how to improve your CV, your resume, so you can really stand out and showcase what you can do, your skills and your experience. This is going to happen now. This is happening now. And then we will have a new webinar on Thursday. This will be about how to boost your LinkedIn profile and some tips and tools on online networking, especially using LinkedIn. These are all at the same time we are meeting at this moment. And then next week on Tuesday 16, we'll have a webinar on how to really understand, to read a job description and really apply for a job. These are all really, skills in themselves that need a little bit of polishing, so we really know we're doing the best we can. In between, on Wednesday, you'll be invited to a general webinar that's going to be on how to collaborate on hybrid and remote environments. This is super useful for these days. And finally, we'll have a webinar on interviewing, right? So these all webinars have been thought with you in mind. So I really hope to see you again every day. And so today, we have Laura, our speaker, and so you get to know Laura. Laura is a career development educator and coach who helps people explore career possibilities and develop skills to work meaningfully. She's a specialist in career development in higher education and global transition consulting. Her education background is in psychology, human resources management, and is a certified coach. Currently based in Buenos Aires, well, at the moment she's in Uruguay. She brings more than 20 years of experience in the US and in Argentina in higher education, as well as the private and nonprofit sectors. And Laura today, she will tell us everything we need to know on how to showcase our experience by having a wonderful CV. So Laura, thank you very much for being here with us today, and really appreciate you taking the time to share this very useful information with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I've seen some familiar names among the participants. So, good for you that you took the time to be here today, because all these this series of webinars are all, what you need to know to get those jobs that you're looking for. So today we're going to be concentrating on resumes, CVs. I'm going to use sometimes I'm going to refer to CVs, sometimes to resumes, but it's the same thing. It's that thing, that document that gets you invited to an interview. That's why it's so important. So it makes a difference. It makes you visible, and it gets that call to an interview. So, I just have some questions for you. Do you know how many applications does a job posting usually receive, average? Do you have any ideas that, you can, we are not so many people, so you can just use them, the
chat or mic as you prefer.
Yeah. Well, how many do you think? When you apply to those jobs, sometimes you get to see how many people have also applied. But well, I'm gonna just give you the answer.
Well,
usually,
someone said 100, 2,000, 1 million.
Okay, well, a million would be a lot, but some applications get more than 250, but this is an average. So the problem or the challenge is, how can I make sure that people see me, right? So the solution is to have a good resume that shows that is very efficient in showing who we are, and not only our experience but also our potential, because it's not just what we bring, but showing what we can do or what we could do. So another question: what percentage of Fortune 500 companies do you think use software to do that first review of your resume? Any ideas? Any guesses? And you can guess. No, we're just a small group here. You can just take a guess. Yeah. So I'm not seeing the chat, so I don't know if
Yes,
anyone
some
has.
is 80%, most of them,
Okay.
all of them.
Okay. So, well, you are close. 99% of Fortune 500 companies use an applicant tracking system. So, well, the challenge for us is how can we make sure that we pass that ATS, that first, software reading? We have to use keywords. We have to populate those resumes with the keywords, those words that recruiters have in mind when they are looking for us. I always say, recruiters are people with problems. They have problems and they are looking for solutions. So we want to be that solution, and a good way is through keywords. And percentage of jobs that get filled through direct applications to a job posting. You see a post, you apply, or you as a recruiter submit a job posting, and what percentage of jobs get filled through that. Well, the relevant thing to say here is that 60 to 70% of jobs are never posted. They are filled through through in other ways. So that is why it's so important to tap into this way of looking for jobs. I call it, an artisanal way of looking for a job. And then the other one would be the more reactive way. There's a job posted, and then I go ahead and apply. So we have to get creative, and so the solution would be just to go beyond, get creative. So we're going to move a little bit onto other things, because we have a lot to cover today. But it's important to talk about the applicant tracking system. You probably know what they are, but it's the software that does this first scanning, and it's so relevant because you either pass that or you just are left behind. And so that's why it's so important. And when you don't get called to an interviews, you might want to ask yourself that if this could be the reason why. So these are some ideas, to keep in mind. Look for a job description that you would like to apply to, and see if, just put them together. Just your resume or your CV and that job posting. See if there are the keywords are there. And then, just stay here in this webinar, and so you can read, you can learn about, how to have an effective resume. So we're going to move into just some content aspects to the resume, and some the way you should present the information. Well, as most recruiters I speak with, they can attest to the fact that they spend between 6 and 10 seconds reviewing a CV. And so it's just that first scan that will make them continue to read or move on to someone else. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing is that the resume is just that. When we talk about CVs, a CV would be a curriculum vitae, which is like a story of our life. And it's really a resume, a summary. It's just highlighting those things that we bring that are relevant to the job that we are applying to. So it's not just the story of our life. It's not about everything we've done. It's about what we've done or what we are doing that relates to that problem that the recruiter has. one page or more. If it's possible, keep it to one page. If you're going to be cramming lots of information into one page and it's going to look untidy, move on to the second page. Just, use some common sense there. And then if there's specific requirements in the job application, follow them. They are there for a reason. So show that you can follow instructions. And then, make sure that all the information that is there is valuable and relates to the job that you're seeking. Like things that reference provided upon request would be something unnecessary, because we all know that if we require references, you will have to provide them, in order to move on to the next stage in the selection process. So some other relevant things about, just the way we want the resume to look like. We are seeing a lot of, and when I say we, I put my recruiter hat on for a little while. So people are getting very creative when it comes to designing resumes. We recommend that you keep it simple, not overly designed. If you are in UI UX, or if you are a designer, keep that creativity for a portfolio where you can show what you can do. But for the resume, we recommend using horizontal lines. We recommend having everything in one big column, so that people can read from left to right, and they can find the information that they are looking for. When you see more than one column, the attention, our attention has to, just gets dispersed, and we don't know whether to read the column on the left, the column on the right, and so we don't know what's more important. We might miss something. We might go up and down and then up again. So horizontal lines, it's simple, traditional resume that has all the information that is needed.
And Laura, I'd like to add something there, because many people they want to make the resume look nice, and they use Canva. Many recruiters, and even like specialists like us, they say it depends on the ATS, but usually the ATS, Canva is not a good format. So if you get super creative and have all these different structures, the ATS may not find the information, and you're automatically discarded just because the ATS do not understand the format. So this way, what Laura is explaining is the best way to making sure that you have an ATS-friendly resume. And then you create it on a Word or Google Doc, and then you put it in PDF, and you make sure the ATS will scan it. So you will go through this first filter, and then the recruiter will have it clean for the person to read. Yes.
Yes, and you can always pass your resume through a scanner, through an ATS reader, or and make sure that it passes the test. So and of course, use an easy to read font, and just don't make the font too small to cram everything in one page, and just make sure that you make the recruiter's life easy. They are not going to be just trying to figure out what you are trying to say, where the information is. They will move on to another candidate. So make their lives easier. Okay. Well, you're going to get the presentation, and you're going to be able to check these quick edits. But when you have your resume, just make sure that check for horizontal lines, make sure that the information is easy to follow. Take your resume and just look at it and see if the information is readable. Am I making those people's lives easier? Would I call myself to an interview? Am I finding everything that, as I would want it, as I in a simple way? And so review all these things and make sure that that it just do all those checks. So we're going to move on to content. Of course, there's some different ways of well, these are all the sections that have to be present on a resume. We start with the header, which is the information, the contact information. So if I see if I read this resume and I like what I see and I want to contact this person, how can I reach out to him or her? So you need to provide all the contact information, which is email address and phone number that works. When you are going to read that, you're going to check and you're going to find him for the message that is left, or you're going to answer. And then you can use the geographical location. You don't need to share your all your home address and all the complete address. No one should care about that. And of course, if you are you're in the technology business field, and so now you can share your link to your portfolio. You can share your link to LinkedIn, and we're gonna see that. But it's just the contact information. How do I reach out to this person? Then a summary. Then your education, if your education is a highlight for you right now, if you just finished a boot camp, you want to highlight that, you want to showcase that, so you might want to put it up on top. And then your work experience or your projects. Sometimes we haven't had enough time to have relevant work experience, but we can add some projects there. And then in the everything else section, where you can add anything that you think would be relevant, and of course your skills. But we're going to get into these more in detail now. And we're going to start with the header. So I already just mentioned the things that go here: name, last name, email address, phone. That is just the complete phone number. You don't want the recruiter to be guessing where you're located, how you reach out, Houston, Texas, and et cetera, et cetera. So you want to make sure that all the information is there. And then all the the portfolios, the websites, the LinkedIn profile, anything else that you think that would be a good thing to showcase. So, well, I'm going to leave those quick edits for you, and just the ABCs, and professional email addresses, and a URL that is clean, and everything looking very professional. So then we're going to move on to the professional summary. And this is a 3 to 4 sentence paragraph where you talk about your value proposition, like who are you and what can you do for me as a recruiter. And it's not what you want. It's not what you're seeking. It's not what you are looking for. It's not your objective. Just put yourself in the other person's shoes. What do they need? And how can I be a solution to what they need? So focus on what you bring and what you can give, and not what you want to get, which is, it changes the whole thing. It must be written and thought in the first person, even though you wouldn't say necessarily I am, but you have to think it in the first person. Here there's a summary as an example here on just right there below. And also focus on concrete things. We all should be proactive and motivated and professional and responsible. We all should be that. So don't waste valuable space on your resume just staying at the obvious. So focus on more concrete and tangible things. The summary, the professional summary is optional, but it's very useful when you're switching industries, when you're switching fields, when you don't have a lot of experience, but you bring transferable skills from the things that you have done before. And so you might want to, just look at that, because otherwise you might leave the recruiter wondering, what can he or she do for me? And so you want to tell them what you can do for them. So remember, if you have questions, you can write them down, and we can talk about them
Yes, and Laura, I'm also replying some questions as they go in the chat. Perhaps someone was asking about ATS, and I'm answering on the chat, so we also get the conversation going.
Good. So here are the quick edits. Be brief, direct to the point. Don't use fillers. Like, don't use the just responsible. And also you can personalize each resume that you are submitting to that job description or that job post that you are applying to. Just look at the keywords. Do you have them? Highlight them. It's still you. It's just you are just being more strategic, more you're focusing your application to that job that you are applying to. So let's see. Let's keep moving. Education. Well, here you have some examples. If you have attended a boot camp, you can include that as education. Include all the information, the name of the boot camp, the dates you attended, the location. You can just write a brief description of what it entailed. Like, what did you learn? What did you apply? What did you use? Who did you work with? So and then, of course, if you look at the job post, you can just make sure that they are aligned with that it's aligned with what you are writing on your resume. Of course, both for the education and for the work experience, you go in chronological order from the most recent to the least recent. You want to use that logic. For education, don't assume anything. Sometimes your resume might be seen by a technical recruiter, but it might not. So just make sure that when you talk about something, you are clear, because you don't want someone to just overlook your application because they don't understand something. Yeah, and then add relevant coursework, relevant projects. There's not one way of writing a resume. This is just an idea, just like one recipe, but there's many ways to write, to cook, right? Well, in this case, it's the same thing. I always say writing a resume is an art. It's not a science. It's not. It's just be sure to use your creativity and to highlight and share those things that you think would be relevant to what you want to do. So we're gonna move on now to the work experience, and this is where you mention what you bring, what you have done. It's good to mention, to just describe what you did. Or what you're doing, just like a small mini paragraph of your reason for being in what you're doing in your job or in your internship, and then complement that with some bullet points. The bullet points should start with an action verb that is really strong. Like, there's some examples here. Managed, coordinated, designed, researched, etc. And of course, if you Google action verbs for resume, you're going to find lots of options and articles and lots of information there. And Well, of course, bullets ideally should include information that is quantifiable, that shows your contribution, right? That's why I say walk the talk. So if you say something, just show it. Show how you do something, how you did something. And well, of course, we have to get very creative because we don't have a lot of space. But get the recruiter curious about what you share, so that curious enough that they will call you for that interview. If you don't have experience, you can include bootcamp projects or projects unpaid. Experience is experience. It doesn't have to be paid, and that, at least that's what we say here in my neck of the woods, right? There may be cultural differences and cultural practice, different practices, but we think that experience is experience, no matter whether it was like freelance or unpaid or volunteer or any other way. So it's just part-time, full-time, remote, etc. So if you had the experience, if you learned something, if you added value, just share it. Employers want to know about that. Well, we talked about the chronological order. We recommend that sometimes this is a question that comes up sometimes, like people who do a boot camp, they want to redirect their careers, and so they have or they had work experience that they consider not relevant or not directly related to a tech career. But there's just try to see what transferable skills you could bring. Did you work in customer service? Did you provide customer service? Did you deal with did you do a lot of problem solving? Did your job include entailed communication, using your communication skills? Though all those skills are going to be of interest to the recruiters. So do a retrospective of your work experience. Ask yourself questions about those experiences. What value did you add? What did you learn? What skills did you use? Write down. I always encourage people to just grab, get out away from their computers and just pencil and paper and start brainstorming. And you would be surprised of all these transferable skills that will come up. Well, here's an example of just work experience explained. And here we're not gonna cover them all now, but you're gonna get this. And so here are some ideas to spark those strong bullet points. Think about your technical skills, your project contributions, instances where you solve problems, where you collaborated to achieve something, and even
This
more.
is, I want to stress this section because this is really, really important. Many times, one of our biggest challenges is how to translate what we already have, as Laura said, what we can bring into the table, into actually putting it out there, whether this is in the resume or in the actual job interview. So here, Laura made an excellent job of really giving you some ideas of when you have to think on how to improve your CV, how to update your CV, especially after also this internship, right? The really important thing is that after this internship, you take the time to reflect and say, how can I now improve my resume and include all these experiences, skills that I've gained? So now I'm even better prepared. So here she created this really excellent bullet points, so you can have this reflection on, okay, what was my contribution? Was it through innovation? What did I achieve? Was it that I kept on learning? Was it my communication skills? We're going to share these slides so you can really go into one by one in detail, because here you have really an excellent starting point to improve your resume. Thank you, Laura, for putting this.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, employers are looking for, or should be looking for people who solve problems, who are curious, who ask themselves questions, who are always learning, because the obsolescence of what we are learning today, who can work well with others, and et cetera, et cetera. So show that and educate the employer too. When you're in those interviews and people just might say, oh, but you don't have the experience. Well, just prove them wrong. You bring in a lot of skills that will just add value to their organizations. So here are the quick edits. Write those bullet points, make them very strong, show not only what you do or what you did, but how you did it. What was so special about you? What was so special that no one else did it, or no one else would do it in the same way? So think about not only the what, but the how and the outcome. I did this in this way, which led to this. So, just the end result. And of course, well, the metrics are very powerful. Sometimes it's not, there's no way, even though we try to use numbers, but we might be able to use percentages, or we can talk about just outcomes, even if they cannot be quantified. So then, make sure that you use bullet points, but don't go overboard, right? So additional activities. This is a miscellaneous. Anything that you think would be relevant. Do you write a blog? Did you write a blog? Are you good with, are you in a creative, the tech creative slash, tech slash creative field? And you are good with design. Did you do a volunteer experience that you want to highlight? Do you have project-based experience? Did you participate in a very informal project that you want to make sure people know about? This is just the everything else that you really absolutely want to be in your resume. You had your own business, even if it was informal. It shows that you are entrepreneurial. Did you do teaching? Or are you doing any teaching? And any accomplishments, awards, scholarships, mentions, anything else? The everything else goes here. Make sure that you sit down and you think, you do that retrospective again, because we tend to forget about things that we've done in the past. So this would be the everything else. Languages, we're bilingual, trilingual, that should go there. And then the skills. The skills are here at the end of the list, but they could be also, some people put them underneath the professional summary, which is good too. So it's up to you. You want to make sure that you include the hard skills and the soft skills. The hard skills should be there for sure. And here are some examples. The soft skills, I think it's good. It's more than listing them. It's a good idea to walk the talk. So if we think we're good in that negotiation, it would be good for you to include a bullet point somewhere where you say what you negotiated, how you negotiated something, and what was the end result. If you are good with problem solving, to show that like a mini example of how you problem solve. If you are good, if you do remote, you've done or you're doing remote work, just mention it when you mention that the internship that you are doing. And I know just that's what I call walking the talk. But the skills are a good way to, they are keywords. So you want that ATS to read them, and then the human being who's gonna be reading your resume also to find them. So, well, here are some more examples of skills. Get friendly with that job post. Go and find and read the post and find those keywords. And if you have them, make sure that they are present in your resume. So here are the quick edits. Review the job description and select those keywords and skills that have to be there. You remember, you want to be the answer to the recruiter's problems. What do they need? What is their pain point? Why are they hiring someone for this position? No one hires just because. They need to hire that person to do what? So how are you going to show them that you can do that? And if you don't have experience, what can you bring from your past life or experience and or projects that shows that potentially that you could do that? So it's just about getting creative and showing and being that answer to that problem. So we are going to do a little bit of debriefing here. How long should your CV be? Well, I just showed the answer. No, it should be as long as it should be as long as necessary, but it should not exceed 2 pages, and ideally 1. It should have not the story of your life, but what you need to show that you could be the answer to that problem, and you could be the best candidate that they would find. So what's the most important section on your CV? What do you think? Anyone?
The most important section, someone says work experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So, yes, we have to be now honest about this. If you have 2 candidates, one has work experience and one doesn't, of course, chances are they're gonna favor the one who has the experience. But experience comes in many ways, right? Projects are experiences. Internships are experiences. So highlight those. And also skills, as you see those, just the communication skills in particular, are important. So be sure to use this information to your advantage when you are just designing and creating your resume. Once you edit your CV, what should you do? What some things that you should do. You have finished your CV. What would you do? Wow, I'm just gonna help you out here. Compare it to the job description you're applying to. So to see if you have those keywords. Run it through the ATS tester. Ask a friend, use the buddy system. Find someone who's also looking for a job, someone that you did the bootcamp with, someone you went to school with, someone who's a friend who's also looking for a job. It doesn't have to be in technology. It could be looking for anything. They are both in the same boat, looking for a job. So sometimes people can just double check for grammar, for typos. They can, if they know, if they are in the same field, they can just pick up other things that can be improved. But find a buddy, not only for resume review, also for job search.
Yes, and a good thing to have in mind is if you, the creator of your CV, is bored or looks at the CV and says like, oh, this is, chances are the recruiter is gonna think the same way. So we have to have this balance of, yes, it has to be nice and clean with this horizontal lines, with lines, with font that is easy to read. and at the same time conveying the right information in this way, the way we've gone through. So you make sure the recruiter has the information they are looking for very quickly, and don't see at your CV and go like, what is this? I'm too busy to try to understand what this is. So if you experience that, if your friend, when they see this, is like, I'm not understanding, then make sure to give it a go once again. And of course, we're in the day and age of ChatGPT. So be super mindful of using the chat and sharing the right prompt. You know better than us, right? Like what a good prompt makes to ChatGPT, so they understand what they need to do, right? Act as a special recruiter and a tech recruiter, and scan please my CV and consider making it ATS friendly and all the things you want ChatGPT to look at.
Yeah, yeah. When you look at your resume, just ask yourself, would they call me? Would they call me? Does it make me curious? Does it show um, potential? Does it show enthusiasm? It's incredible how words written on a screen or on paper can just communicate. So yeah. So, well, and some final considerations. And these are important and they are very basic, but they are easy to miss. When you save your document, save it with your name and last name. If employers have like 10 resumes that are called CV or resume 2024, they might not even bother to click and see who it belongs to. So don't forget that. CV 2024 might make sense to you when you're looking for your file, but for your document, but it's not going to make sense to the reader. Save as Word of PDF. Test it on the ATS reader. We talked about that enough. Have someone read it for last minute touch-ups. And make sure that you check the job posting. I remember when I was in my 20s, I applied for something and I didn't do this. I still think about that because I missed an amazing opportunity because I didn't read the specifications. So, I learned the hard way. So don't do that. So basically it's a resume is the highlights of what you do and can do, the problems you can solve for someone. They should focus on what you can give and not what you're looking for. Sometimes it's hard to say, but I say no one cares about what we are looking for. They care what they are looking for. So be that person, be that professional, be that person who's going to solve those problems. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. And then clear information, information that makes it easy to scan. So the person who's reading, those resumes is gonna just the information is gonna be easy to follow, pleasant to read, and then just make sure that someone helps you just to review, scan for last minute adjustments, and then go out and test it. So that's just the basics. I would, if there are any questions, I don't know, Mirta, if there are any questions.
Yes, we have a question about what are the best websites to apply for jobs. We're going to run a special webinar on this precisely. That's going to happen we said next week on Tuesday. So then we're going to share some ideas. LinkedIn is a good place to start your network too. Come next Tuesday, so we go into this topic, and then we also share the slides with potential, like with all the information. Someone else is, yes, Laura, please.
No, I was gonna say, I've heard you should also indeed Monster. It depends on where you are. Sometimes they're local, smaller, more boutique platforms that you can reach out to. Also, there's some other ones. I do have I have a list of some platforms. I don't know if there's a way to have them sent to the people attending, but there's Power to Fly. There's some interesting ones that for remote work. Some are just dedicated or focused on remote work opportunities. But yeah, so there's lots of them. But you will have that webinar, and so you will get all the
Yes, and
information.
also someone is saying I need help with interviews. That's why we have a webinar about interviewing. Laura, can you share the third slide, I believe it is, with the other dates of the other webinars?
Yeah.
We have a special webinar on interviewing. The key thing of interviewing is preparation. So you should always be ready to prepare for your interview. And one thing also is that, Laura, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned soft skills, hard skills. What do you think a CV, especially for tech, should really convey? Do I want to stress my soft skills, my hard skills, both? What do you think?
Be very, very concrete and practical. You know, if you are in tech, people want those tech abilities. Of course, the power skills or soft skills are gonna, you know, just those employability skills that I mentioned, they have to be there. You have to be a good communicator. You have to be able to work with other people. You have to have just problem solving skills and so forth. But they want to, you know, if you're applying to to work as a website developer, you need to know which tech skills you need, and you need to show them. You need to showcase them. So those are, I think, are key. And then yeah, that's what I would say. If you're in UI UX, you know which are the tools, the skills, the tech skills that you need. And well, you can Google to find out more about them. You can go on LinkedIn and look for people who are doing what you want to do, and then scan their profiles. What do they have? What do they highlight? What do they talk about? What skills and abilities do they show and display? And yeah, so that's what I would say. You know, tech skills. That's what you know, the hard skills. And then of course the other ones, as you are describing what you do, just make sure that you showcase them too.
And someone is asking, what if in my experience, my work experience, I'm not sure I have numbers to showcase? How can I convey and show my results in a good way?
Well, you can use that the smart how do you method or way of communicating. You know, just what you can do, what you can do for others. Think about what you did. What was the situation? Just think about an example of something that think first about what you want to demonstrate, that you're a good communicator. So think about a situation where you show that you were a good communicator, and then what you did, and then what was the task assigned, what you did, and what was the result. And sometimes you know, it might not be something that is quantifiable, but it could show that you improved something, that you led the team to a good result, that you improved customer service, that you improved, that you were able to solve a conflict, that you were able to work with others to accomplish, whatever. So it doesn't, not all, like I said before, not all those, not all of what we do can be quantified. And but just think about what you did that maybe some other candidate or some other employee or some other intern might not have done. Like, what was so special about you? Like, think about in sometimes I invite people to think, when you leave your internship, what will you have left behind? And what, just how do you make sure that your resume is not a job description, that anyone else who comes after you would just have the same just work experience, who would write the work experience in exactly the same way? What was so special about you? And it doesn't have to be quantified. Ideally, yes, people, just metrics are just amazing, but it doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes it's just you put in context. You can say, you can talk about how you improved something, how you made sure, like how you incorporated something in that was not there before, how your idea was implemented. And there's nothing, you're not including numbers, but you're just adding value, just showing how you added value.
Excellent. Do we have any other question before we leave? I sent an invitation to complete a quick survey about this webinar so you can share your thoughts. Laura, you can always share your LinkedIn
Yes,
profile.
sure.
And that's something we're going to explore in our next webinar, which is on Thursday, the importance of LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn account, which I hope you do, this is the opportunity to share your LinkedIn account so you can connect to each other. And if you want to add Laura as well, this is your opportunity to expand your network. And I think it is important for you to really get the idea that we need to take proactive steps to make sure we are moving forward in the right direction we want professionally. And this is why we have created all these webinars for you. You can always ask ChatGPT. Now we have this amazing tool where you can tell ChatGPT, ask as a specialist in career development, act as a career coach. Please tell me the main things I need to consider to really start thinking about my next steps in my professional development. And I'm sure Chat will tell you improve your CV so you have the skills, the information to that with this webinar. Remember, we will send the slides and also the recording later on. And you're more than invited to come to our next webinars, and we hope to see you all there. I hope you enjoyed this webinar and that you have an excellent rest of your day and that stay connected with us so we can keep on learning and growing together. So thank you very much, everyone, and wish you an excellent day.
Thank you for being here today and, just making time in your agenda to be here.
Thank you, everyone.